So I came across this term recently, weeaboo, which is apparently kind of the Japanese culture, anime culture, otaku culture equivalent of like an Anglophile, which is somebody who's into like British culture and, I mean, really head over heels for it to the point where they prefer that culture to their source culture. In this case, the Western world, the U.S. and everything. And apparently this weeaboo term, I don't know if it's, strictly sort of out of the Urban Dictionary or whatever, but apparently it's supposed to describe somebody who finds a fascination with Japanese culture and puts a sort of level of importance on that particular culture, even more so than their source, culture. And I find this interesting that I was kind of sidled up with a group calling itself this because, I'm not somebody who really enjoys labelism. I mean, I've been called everything from, a metalhead to a goth to a punker to, sort of whatever you call it, like steampunk aesthetics and sort of cyberpunk and everything. I mean, I've been called everything under the sun, and all of my tastes may have little flavors and little inspirations from, each and every little one of these things, but I'm definitely not any one of them in particular. And I never have been, and I never will be. I will never conform to one sort of outlook or one sort of label or term. And I'm just kind of like, I'm thinking back to in my youth, this would have really offended me, this idea of, oh, well, I like anime and I'm interested in Japanese history along the lines of the samurai and such. That's pretty much the limitations of where, my interest in Japan. It's a little bit more than that, but that's the primary crux of it. And I'm not selling short my own Italian-American heritage and things like that. I don't prefer the idea of moving to Japan and living a Japanese lifestyle. I just like those things. And it just, it's like such an ass-backwards mentality that we have to, sort of cherry pick and, conform ideas down into these little least common denominator names and penchants and archetypes or, very easily understood aesthetics, if you will, in the human condition. I mean, we need to dumb it down any which way we can. If you're walking down the street wearing a keep calm and something shirt or a comic book is in your backpack, or you read manga or whatever, there's a name for you, I mean, that's kind of the point. There's a name for everything and everyone. And it's just kind of like, it's just like the idea of the medicinal culture in the U.S., the pharmaceutical culture. They're trying to prescribe medications for everything. That's very much what the labelism is. I mean, you have such contrite labelism that just offhandedly and sometimes without even a second thought is bandied about. I mean, look at the terms nerd and geek. For a long time, these were seen as derogatory things, and now it's the age of the geek and the age of the nerd. And but I'm somebody who never conformed to any of these titles, and I just sort of scoff at them because I feel like they're a waste of time, and I feel like they're somewhat demeaning and somewhat degrading. I mean, in the extreme, we have racist labelism and such like that. And I mean, to certain people, these kinds of things, saying somebody is a weeaboo, can be offensive, can be hurtful. And I just think it's so stupid and such a waste of time that really spells out our own misunderstanding and our own incapability of accepting diversity, unless we dumb it down and understand it in such an infinitesimal and infantile framework. Maybe I'm getting a little too worked up on the whole idea, but it's like I say, I mean, when I'm not even somebody who, you can describe me in a way that matches a particular label, it does kind of irk me a little bit, like, wow, that's really how you see me? I mean, you feel like you can just, slip me into a peg hole and now you get where I'm coming from? Well, you don't. And, it's going to take a lot more than attaching a label to what you think I am. I mean, I call myself Johnny Blues, the Blues Man. Doesn't mean I only like blues music. I like all kinds of music. I celebrate all kinds of music. I have a very eclectic taste. And it goes down to that idea of don't judge a book by its cover. Don't sort of, henpeg people into an idea or an assumption on an idea of what that person is like and what that person, their tastes conform to. And so, I mean, I just feel like it's so stupid to have these particular kinds of labels. And I mean, this particular one, weeaboo, it sounds like a crackhead trying to say rainbow. Weeaboo, weeaboo, it sounds sort of, insulting. I mean, maybe that's just me. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought I'd vent on this because it sounds like such a stupid label. And if you happen to like anime or you happen to be interested in aspects of a country's culture, I mean, what am I, an Anglophile? Is there another name for it? An Angaboo, or, I consider my heritage, something I'm very proud of. Italian heritage, even though I was born in the United States, but I have ancestry in Italy and such. Am I an Itaboo or Italaboo or, labels. Fucking stupid.